Ashlyn Akers, and I'm here to present my senior project, and it's titled Dance, Passion with a Purpose. I'm going to get into that in a second. To begin my presentation, I would like to give you a little background on me and why I chose this topic, because it's personal, and like Shelly said, it's moving me into my future. At the age of 3, my mom took me to my very first dance class in a small town in a small studio. I was your typical 3-year-old in a dance class, unfocused and loved the sparkles. At the same time, I was also cheering and playing soccer, but by the age of 8, dance prevailed through it all. That is what I wanted to do nonstop all the time. Around the same time, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. Now, I don't use this as a crutch. It's part of my story. My parents and teachers noticed that I was struggling, and so they got me tested, and it came back I was dyslexic. Dyslexia is a learning disability that creates difficulty for me to read, spell, and articulate and decode anything, pretty much words and math. Secondary effects of dyslexia can cause problems in reading comprehension, impede vocabulary growth, and hinder background knowledge. So this isn't easy, but I'm doing it. But because of these known effects, some very loving people told my parents from the very beginning, don't expect her to love and want to go to college because of the reading, the spelling, the writing. It's not going to be easy for her, and she might not want to do it. So they expected me not to be here today. They just prepared that. But being told this, they decided they weren't going to settle for that, and they wanted to be, activists. They wanted to advocate for me, which then led me to be an activist for myself, to advocate for myself, which is awesome. They never allowed me to use dyslexia as my crutch. It wasn't an option. But they taught me to seek resources to make me who I am and to figure out a way to accomplish what my goal was, and that is what caused me to be successful. As I got older, I continued to pursue dance at the studio. It was my hobby when I was a little girl, but it soon became my passion and what I wanted to do. I learned with hard work and dedication, I could not only succeed but thrive. Even if it took extra effort because of dyslexia, it just became my second nature, and the studio became my second home. I'd rather be there than anywhere else. I felt strong and successful there instead of at school where I felt beat down and discouraged all the time. In 6th grade, prior to junior high, my parents noticed I was struggling, and my teachers noticed I was struggling with math. And so they took me to Scottish Rite Hospital, to the Center of Dyslexia and Learning Disorders at Scottish Rite in Dallas to get full testing. The results came back that I was 100% dyslexic, which was, expected. But they wanted to make sure they weren't missing something and that they couldn't help me anymore. I don't remember the testing or what I had to go through much, but when they were telling my parents the results, they started to ask about dance. And they found out when they were talking to me about my dance classes, they asked, what do you do outside of school? And I was like, oh, I dance, and I love it, and it's the studio, and I do all these classes. And they saw that I was confident in that, and I had strength, and there was no evidence of that same strength and confidence and happiness when I was talking about math and reading and writing. And so they explained to my parents that dance became my outlet and became my lifeline, pretty much. And in their words exactly, they said, whatever you do, don't let her stop dancing. And they haven't. Alright, so about the same time, in 6th grade, one of my close friends was diagnosed with cancer. The specific cancer was osteosarcoma, and it's a cancer of the bone. Her name was Lauren Smith, and for more than 2 years, a group of us girls rallied together and tried to make it seem as normal as possible. You know, we were struggling while watching our friend struggle, and it wasn't easy to watch at 6th grade. So we did what we could to be there for her. We visited her as often as they would let us in the doors of the hospital, and then when she was home, we were there as much as we could. And while we were there, what we would tend to do would be dance and sing. I don't know why. That was just our thing. It took us out of that world. So while visiting her in the hospital, these are the kinds of therapies I would see, you know, pet therapy. They bring in dogs or cats or, you know, fun animals to kind of like draw them out of that they're sitting in a hospital bed getting chemo or whatever kind of thing they're getting, you know, clown therapy. Just to make them laugh, to get them out of that headspace of I'm sitting in a hospital bed, not at school. And the last picture is a picture of something they would do personally. They would decorate her room to make it not feel like a hospital room. Like, it was incredible. People would come by and they'd like, what is going on in there? Like, it just didn't feel like a hospital. And so that made it really comforting to walk into as well as an outsider too. But especially what we did was dance and sing. It's just our thing, I don't know. I realized even at an early age that dance became an outlet. It became the outlet for her, and that smile that was put on her face while she was doing it is just something I will never forget. 9 years ago, yesterday, when we were in 8th grade, she died and lost her battle to cancer, but she didn't do it without serious fight. She fought hard, but she did it while she was dancing, so. Her positive outlook on life will to fight, her battle inspires me to continue dancing and dance for her, because if she was here, that's what she'd be doing, because it was her passion too. But unknown to me, all of that, 6th grade through 8th grade, planted a seed in me, and now I get to explain that. So, in your last years of high school, especially the last months, the main questions you get are, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? What's your major? Well, I didn't want to do math, I didn't want to do English, I didn't want to be business, because I knew I wouldn't enjoy it. And when I found out there was a BA in dance and I could graduate with that, that was a saving grace. Like, I was like, I'm going, it's settled, I'm going. And so, yeah, I went. In considering this, I found out there's a dance degree, and it led me, and it made me feel like my 15 years of dancing from the age of 3 to 18 was paying off. So I applied, I got accepted, here I am, about to graduate. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. No one's really sure what they want to do with their degree when they walk in. They're just kind of like, I think I want to do this. And so I wasn't sure, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll be a performer. And I was like, but I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that connection. I was like, okay, what else could I do? I said, well, I could teach. I don't want to teach at the typical level of high school or elementary school. I was like, I'm not feeling the full connection there. I'm like, there's some things I could get out of it, but there's something missing from that. And I kept remembering what dance meant so much to Lauren and what it meant to me, and I was like, okay, I could do dance therapy, I could step into hospitals, and I could do what they were doing. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that every day. That brings back some memories, and I want to let that lay a little. So, sometime during my junior year in college, I saw a TV special about a unique place called the Wooden Floor. That day I realized what my passion was. I want to show y'all a little clip. I couldn't find the original TV, but this is close to it, and it gives a good insight from the students, parents, and faculty members, and some donors of this program.
get to, because they just figure like, oh, dance studio. It's like one of those I can see like driving down the street, and it's like, no, you don't understand, because it's not just dance classes. It's a whole community here.
The place comes alive around 3:30 in the afternoon, where our parents and kids start trickling into the building, and they start changing into their dance clothes, and there's 3 classes happening simultaneously, and the parents, of course, bring all the other siblings, so the lobby is full of children, some of them who through our zealous volunteers are getting recruited to be in a reading program, others are in the tutoring center, and most of them are coming in and out of the studios dancing and having learned something really positive, at least for that day, and that's why many of them call it their second homes.
It's just amazing to dance here. Like, it's just a place where you get away from it all. It's like, because it's just a place, outside this space, basically, it's stressful for me. So once I come in here, just like here, I have a mindset on dancing.
What I like to see is the poise that kids seem to gain from participating in this program, the confidence they exhibit, and they just feel good about themselves.
Dance to me would be the definition of freedom. It's liberating. There's no other way I can put it.
I feel safe, I feel wanted, I just feel like me for once.
This school has helped my daughter a lot and helped the whole family a lot, because she's more open to us. We can talk all the time. She's so excited. She's showing us her moves, and so by doing that, she tells us about her school, about everything else that's going on in her life. Her self-esteem has grown since she's been coming here.
Once a year we have auditions, and I have always said that that is the most moving day for me. As I drive up and I see a line that wraps around the building, and some of the kids have been here since 3 o'clock in the morning waiting for a chance to get in. They seem expectant and hopeful and wishful. They come in and we get to watch them dance. To make them feel very much at home. The only requisites to be in the program are if you are low income and you seem to want to move.
When I saw some of the teenagers were dropping out of the school to either get jobs or in some cases to have children, it occurred to me that a tutoring program might help them stay in school and graduate from high school.
In the meantime, I'll talk to you about what we can do today, okay?
It was hard because my mom had to work 3 jobs to make sure that we had what we needed, which was food and shelter, at all costs, even if it meant her working days and nights and occasionally weekends. We were moving constantly, evicted out of places non-stop, but slowly but surely we kind of figured ourselves out as a family.
They feel that they can come here and be safe. And I'm really happy to say that almost everyone who has graduated from this program has gone on to college.
It never fails for me when I peer into a classroom and see mostly Latino youth dancing and learning the art form of contemporary dance or ballet, or doing this very progressive, innovative artwork. And the fact that the combination is mostly uncommon, and that here they are having the opportunity to participate in the discourse of the art world, not pretending to do art, but actually making art. Being in touch with your artistic instincts is a direct vehicle to also getting in touch with your soul. And what happens, of course, is miraculous.
Alright, so that was the wooden floor. And now y'all get a little taste of why I was so like, oh my gosh, they're saying everything I'm feeling everything I'm saying, like, I'm feeling it. So as you can tell from the video, the Wooden Floor is a not-for-profit community center that serves families of underprivileged neighborhoods in California. They offer modern and ballet curriculum, crisis, intervention, and family therapy, along with mentoring and educational support. This program is free of cost, and 100% of their students graduate from high school, apply, and get accepted to higher education. That's something public schools can't accomplish. They try, and of course, their funding and stuff is limited, and they're accomplishing it, and it's incredible that these kids are getting a second chance. While this was not my reality, obviously. I got to dance 15 years in a studio and then some. It stuck with me that dance was being used as a safe place, and it was an outlet, and it was a therapy, and for these students that would not have gotten it any other way. And it was leading them out of a harsh reality and directing them towards their bright futures, and that just is incredible. When I was researching the Wooden Floor, I came across their mission statement, which gave me insight to what they really stood for, which then inspired me to kind of write a rough mission statement for what I hope to be something like the Wooden Floor someday. My mission statement says to provide a safe environment for children in high poverty situations to be introduced to dance as an art, therapy, and a confidence builder through the use of instruction, counseling, intervention, and educational support, along with mentoring. Now, to kind of step away from the, fun part of it, and move into the business side, which I'm not great at. But some things I quickly learned was that I don't know a lot about business. You can kind of take it, but I don't know enough. But just to give a quick rundown of what is needed, the basic steps of a nonprofit and setting that up. You need to make a plan, you need to select a name, recruit a board of directors that is going to help you through this, select a legal structure, file the certificate of information with Secretary of State, draft bylaws that govern the operation, apply for federal employer ID number, obtain a 501c3 status, and apply for state exemptions and other permits. Of course, this can't be done tonight or even the semester. It takes a process. But my ultimate goal, and the ultimate goal of any nonprofit, is to have, a permanent location, fully staffed with instructors, teachers, and counselors with substantial funding. Speaking of funding, where would this money come from? Funding is a large part of any nonprofit, even though it's a not for-profit, you have to have money to give money. You know, it's that process. So I found in my research that non-for-profit organizations function solely off of fundraising and grants, which takes someone, you know, who knows how to write grants and all those, someone that's really good at fundraising. You know, it takes those people. And if you get lucky, you get outright donors who want to just be charitable and give money and then get to write it off, which is great no matter what. I quickly learned that I couldn't do this by myself, and I didn't feel comfortable having all of that big old circle of pressure of business, money, donor, you know, all of that on top of me. So I decided I was going to build my board of directors around these expertise and that would share my passion and pretty much give their time for free. And the people I would look for would be a not-for-profit specialist and a grant writer, lawyers, business managers, qualified dance instructors, licensed counselors, therapists, crisis interventionists, educational teachers / tutors and mentors. So while I was creating this great dream, I said, what can I do today, soon to be college graduate, that has to pay bills? It's like, how can I start this? It's like, I don't, you know, where do I start? And so I decided I'd go back to my hometown where I was inspired. So in that sense, I'll come back to it in a second, but just kind of stepping into certain places that would help me grow. So where would I find students? How would I find these people that, you know, are in low incomes and things like that? Because no one wears a name tag saying, help, or I'm low income. Like, no one does that. Anyone can be anyone can be that person. So in a small town, it made sense to me to go to my local school, ISD, local churches, and local community centers, and as a resource for families with both a need and a desire for something like this. By partnering with local schools and churches and community centers, the possibility also arises for using their facilities at free or reduced costs. My idea is to create a daily after-school program with a wide variety of students who each have unique stories and needs. This led me to interview with a school counselor, and she has a wide variety of experience in the school system, but also working with local churches and other organizations and vetting students according to their individual needs and pairing them with the offerings from these organizations. For example, she started a program called the Backpack Program, and parents that say, we need help, because they do that. It was shocking that they openly say that. They say, we need help, and she gets a backpack, fills it full of food, and gives it to them for the weekend, and they come back and bring it on Monday, and she does it again, and again, and she does it all year long, and then in the summer they have a whole nother program that allows them to be fed. Sometimes they don't get meals over the weekend. She offered me, during our interview, lots of encouragement, as she felt this was a true need, and she suggested that partnering with local school counselors would be a good place to start to find students. She also walked me through the process of applying for using the facilities of the school after hours. Back to dance. So, of course, as you can imagine, I'd be the first dance instructor, but as it grows, who I'd be looking for would be people with the same passion, same drive to want to help these children, even if it meant you're volunteering. You know, it's not meant to benefit you, it's meant to benefit them. And trying to find the overall success and outcome for these students. In the beginning, I would research out, I would reach out to local professionals in the following areas, such as people that do therapy for children, family therapy, crisis intervention, dance therapy, social workers, licensed counselors. I do this so they could share their passion, and hopefully they would share that passion with me. And again, they would donate pretty much their time just to benefit those children that may need someone to talk to, may need someone to just be like, you okay? Or do you want to talk? Or just be like, hey, let's talk for a second, and just making sure everything's okay. One last thing I would like to offer my students, just like the wind floor, would be mentoring. Now, mentoring is, taking an adult and trying to find an adult that went through the same situation this young kid, teenager, might be going through. They might be feeling like the whole world is sitting on top of their shoulders. But this adult might be able to mentor them and say, look, I'm here, I made it, I'm doing okay. You can do it, let's figure this out together, let's work together, creating a bond, especially if there's not a mom, not a dad in the picture, creating a way for them to not feel so alone. So yeah, that's just one more thing I feel like is really important in this concept. Full circle. As you can tell now, my dream will not become a reality on December 16th at 8 a.m. or December 15th at 8 a.m. It just won't, it'll take a few years. However, not a day goes by that I haven't thought about the wooden floor and what they do since I saw that program. Hopefully someday I can make this reality. It is my wish to give other dancers the same thing that was given to me through the art of dance, and that is hope. Hope that could be anything, they could be anything they set their mind to, regardless of circumstances, stereotypes, or lack of financial resources. If I could provide that for even one child, I've done what I was placed on this earth to do. So, thank you for your time tonight.